I just seen a lot of leadership qualities in her, with her ability to just lead people in general and to motivate and to inspire the people. And she lives a very wholesome lifestyle and really believes in what it can do and benefit everybody else. And she's doing fitness competition in May, what was it? May 16th, bikini competition. So she's really getting dialed in with that and living that lifestyle. So she had the idea of helping the members out here that are doing the challenge, sharing her experiences with it, because she's had a lot of success. So we'll leave everybody with that.
Hi, I'm Marissa. I've met basically everybody here, I think, except for a few people. So how is everyone here on the Beachbody Challenge right now? I've started, or just kind of want some more information on kind of the guidelines, or are you guys doing it right now too? No?
Yes.
Yes, everybody.
Yes.
Okay, so everyone here is on the Beachbody Challenge.
Yeah.
Okay, did everybody get the information emailed over to them? Is it more helpful to have it printed out? Because I did print out some copies for people.
Kathy, I did send that to your email, so.
Oh, you did, okay.
I did send it to your email, so.
Okay.
All
right.
I'm just kind of old fashioned anyways. I don't know why, I like to waste paper. I like to have it,
Thanks.
yeah, I like to have it to refer back to. I came up with, in our Facebook group, I came up with a cheat sheet for carbs and protein for the members just a few weeks ago, so I printed that out. And then one of the sheets I just have meal prep and diet success that I found over the last year that I've been doing this. Sorry. So yeah, I can get you a copy too if you want a hard copy of what Jacob had emailed over to everyone. I think I have. You're welcome. I think I have one more copy, but I'll just hold. So yeah, I think number one thing that I've learned for myself is meal prep is key. It's been number one thing to keep me on track as far as my eating goes. Making sure, I even travel with snacks in my car. Obviously, my diet is a little bit more intense right now with the competition coming up, but I still kind of learned how to do that long before I even decided I was going to compete. But I always pick one day out of the week. I designate at least 2 hours for food prep from start to cleanup. And when I make a grocery list, I only have the key items for those things that I'm making. That's hard too if you have children and there's other stuff you need to buy. But I do have a 16-year-old at home and husband to feed as well. They're both pretty much on board with eating what I eat. I sometimes will make her different stuff, but she's also gone a lot too, working and doing her own thing. So, but when I go to the grocery store, I make sure not to shy away from my grocery list. I try not to buy things that I know that aren't part of my plan. I sit down a lot and write all my projected meals for the week, specifically like what I want, what my week's gonna look like, what I need to bring to work the next day, like what I want my lunches to be like. I'm one of those people that I can't eat the same thing in a row. So I can't eat like the same thing for lunch every single day. So what I do is I try to switch it up a little bit. If I had something one day for lunch, the next day it's gonna be something different. I'll at least skip a day before I have that again. I make a lot of things in bulk, like turkey meatballs, and I freeze them. There's different really easy casseroles you can make. I brought a few recipes with today, just really easy to put together. When I'm portioning, I make sure I'm tracking the carbs and the fat counts, proteins with the meals, planning meals around 2 hours apart, help you feeling from hungry, or help you from feeling hungry. Staying away from alcohol, that's hard for a lot of people, especially there's so many social get-togethers. I was just at a birthday party yesterday that had an array of things that I could choose from, birthday cake, whatnot, but I came prepared. I brought, and that can be difficult for some people in a social setting, because you don't want to be that person that you feel awkward. I felt this way a while back, but what it came down to is I had to express and share with everybody, these are my goals, and this is a journey I'm on right now, and this is something that I need support from.
Have you had like conversations with people that, or have you had comments with people maybe making judgment about your health and fitness goals, or
Yes.
have you maybe had to have a conversation with them, and how did you kind of deal with that?
Yeah, like with family members, and I guess I see it a lot at work, and actually this has been long before I even started doing what I'm doing now. I mean, and maybe I'll back up a little bit. I've always been someone that's active. I've been kind of health conscious, but I never really monitored what I ate. I haven't been obese. But I have struggled with my weight. I've been on a roller coaster with my weight, whether it's gaining, 10, 15 pounds and losing it. I haven't lost it the healthy way in the past. I struggled years ago with, taking certain pills that would help me lose weight, like over the counter or whatnot, years ago with that. And there was a point in time where my weight was really, really low and I wasn't active. And I feel like it kind of screwed up my metabolism, because then once I started going back to normal again, that's when I started to see that weight gain. And it was about a year ago when I decided to come meet with Jacob and kind of talk about the program, the nutrition aspect, and join Wholesome and do a 60-day challenge. It was up until that point that I didn't really have control over it. I was still working out 5 days a week, but I just couldn't, lose that 15 pounds I had gained. So I learned a lot on the fact that, it is what you put in your body. I don't eat everything perfectly organic all the time, but at least I know I've learned the specific foods that help fuel me, keep me full, keep me, from wanting to crave at night. I went through a phase too when I first started learning how to meal prep and everything. Even with the start of this training, every night all I could think about was like eating ice cream or having a bowl full of cereal or something like that. And I was really, really struggling for a while. And I wasn't doing it, but I would maybe have a handful of cereal here or there. And it just was hard. But I guess once I started, like certain foods like that I must have all the time, like eggs and sweet potatoes and chicken and greens and all the stuff that I started having on a regular basis slowly took that craving away from me. I don't have it anymore. At night I have like a whey protein shake, and that is satisfying to me. It keeps me from having stuff like that. So, but yeah, at work since I've always been someone that's been considered thin. I've got a lot of comments from people at work, even a long time ago when I started even having salads. Well, why are you eating so healthy? You don't have to lose weight. And why are you doing this or that? And the other day I came into a meeting with my my lunchbox, my big lunchbox with all my meals, and I had people be like, and there was tons of food everywhere, and just I got a couple of dirty looks, and people have said things to me. I don't know, I guess how I handle it is I just explain to them, everybody has a different goal of their own, and they don't really need to worry about what my goal is. My goal isn't to lose weight. It's more to just maintain that lean muscle and get to a point where I won't go back to where I was before, where I feel like I don't have control over it. So it's hard to explain. A lot of people don't understand. They don't especially people who are in a place where they are unhappy with their current health or their current weight, and they don't have control of it. They're gonna criticize other people for living that lifestyle. They're not gonna understand it unless they're doing it themselves.
And peer pressure can be pretty rough.
Definitely. I've been really lucky though, like with the group of friends and family, that now I have a couple family members that are like, well, why can't you at least have one cupcake? Or like, and I'm like, because I'm not jeopardizing anything for this competition. But yes, once I'm not training, I've reached my fitness goals. I'm very happy where I'm at now. You can have, I will have that in moderation. I'll have that once in a while, but I still will never go back to drinking beer every weekend and eating pizza once or twice a week, and just I can't go back to that because I know the way it made me feel, and I have never felt this good in my entire life. I've never felt this good to wake up in the morning, and just physically I don't feel drained anymore because of it's taken a whole year for me to kind of learn how to put those wholesome foods in my body and just learn how to eat them on a consistent basis. So I did just tell my husband the other day that even when this competition's done, I'm still prepping my meals. I'm still bringing them to work. I love it. I'm obsessed with prepping meals and cooking on Sunday. It's like my whole kitchen's destroyed, but it helps me feel prepared and it helps me just feel ready. So, yeah, the biggest thing I think, like number 6 on the list, is just alcohol in social situations. And when you, for this 8-week challenge, you have a goal in mind, you have to stick with it, because you could do great Monday through Friday and Saturday and Sunday. You could choose to have those drinks and certain things, and it is gonna throw off your whole diet for the week. And then, then you're starting from square one again. So you kind of want to stick away from that. I always hard-boil eggs all the time and keep them in my fridge. It's easy to do like a whole carton at a time. I started buying farm fresh eggs, like 4 dozen at a time. That's been really helpful, because sometimes my husband and my daughter eat my eggs and I get mad. I get a little protective, or like I need, because I have a certain amount I need every day. So I peel and dice up sweet potatoes. Those are always in my fridge all the time. And whenever I go to the store, I always grab like 3 of them. Anytime I'm shopping, if I don't need sweet potatoes, I'm always grabbing 2 or 3 and keeping them in the cupboard, so that when that gets low, it takes me 5 minutes to dice it up. It's something I actually do not even on a meal prep day. I cook almost everything with coconut oil. A lot of different brands, but I love that coconut oil. Keep sunflower butter or natural peanut butter on hand. Always have fresh produce on hand. That can be hard to do too, especially, I guess, it depends too, how many kids you have in your house or how many people you have to feed. Like my husband and my daughter are not good about eating produce, so I'm the only one that's really eating that produce, and I don't want it to go to waste. So that's another reason why a lot of times I prep it up, and I'll cook up like chicken breasts and a bunch of peppers and onions, and I will pre-portion everything in containers, because if I don't, then those, the produce will go to waste if I don't eat it fast enough. Keep fresh spices and like dill on hand. That's a great one that I like to have. Italian seasoning. Dice up veggies, and also prep those a day in advance. Like, if you just take the time, there's so many easy ways to be prepared, and it's all about just getting in the habit of doing that. A lot of people, a lot of friends of mine are reaching out to me right now asking me, and a lot of times they'll say, I just don't have time for this or that. Well, I didn't necessarily have time either. I just made time. I never used to come here 6 days a week to train, but I made it part of my routine. I made it a priority to do that. So, but I don't have, like, I know some people who have several kids at home. It's really hard in different schedules and sports and stuff like that. I can't really give anybody advice on how they should restructure their day, because I don't know what their day is at home. But I do know a lot of my friends and family I talk to will tell me that when we really get down to it, well, yeah, I suppose like I could skip watching my show for an hour, show on TV, or I could skip. There's certain things that they could skip doing to make up for that 1 hour that they need to meal prep. So it's just all about finding that time to do that. And like I said, it took me, I thought I always was health conscious. I thought I had it all figured out until I got to a point where I was uncomfortable and I knew I had put on weight, and I wanted a goal. I'm a goal setter. I have to change up my goals all the time, something new all the time. So.
Do you pre-cook your veggies then for the whole week?
I do a lot of times, yeah.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like I bought a bunch of green beans once, fresh green beans, and I, cleaned them up and steamed them, and then I put them in Ziploc bags, and I kept them in the drawer, and I would just grab a Ziploc bag, and that was before I got a big lunch box. I have one of those 6-packs, which is essential when you're training for competition, because you're eating so much. That's before I got that. I was constantly just, I had everything. Just the lower level of my fridge was pre-portioned out, and
so the veggies are still good after you cook them. After like
yeah,
5th day.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it past 5 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I try to, and that's why I really have to sit down and think about what my week's gonna look like, because if I don't, there are things that will go to waste like that. And it happened a couple times with the green beans that I reached for something else that was in there, made a lunch, and then I had to throw some of them away because but for the most part, right now I'm eating 8 meals a day, and so I'm just, I've got between protein shakes too,
Yeah.
So I consider those meals, because when my protein shakes, I add kale and blueberry and a little bit of peanut butter to it. So use Mrs. Dash. Is anyone familiar with Mrs. Dash? I just decided I might as well just bring visuals. And these are things I have in my cupboard all the time. So some people don't know like what brands to get or what products to get. Or For when I first did, so backing up a little bit too, when I first did my 60-day challenge with Wholesome Health, in 60 days I dropped 11 or 12 pounds and 3.6 body fat. And I really basically cut out the carbs other than sweet potatoes and not having anything after 3. And then I started introducing like quinoa pasta, and because everybody loves pasta. I can't tell you the last time I had spaghetti. But it's okay because it always upset my stomach and I don't like the way it made me feel anyways. But this pasta, my husband will even eat, and he does not eat healthy like I do. We'll just say that. He will eat what I make, but on his own, he's eating other stuff all the time. And he really loves it. Why not, if you like a different pasta, why not get the one that you know is good for you? And with the Beachbody Challenge, I know just when you're portioning, still to this day, I'm constantly jotting down. Yesterday, I just grabbed an envelope. So, but yeah, definitely counting out carbs.
Do you limit the amount of number of grams of carbs you have every day? I mean, do you count the carbs and try to keep it at a
I do,
certain number?
yeah. Like for me, it's different, so it depends on my training for the day for the competition. So like leg days, I'll have higher carbs, and I try to do carb cycling. I think for the Beachbody Challenge, let me grab you guys.
Wasn't it like 75 carbs?
Yeah.
And then 100 to 150
Yes.
protein? And then how many fats?
So there's,
25 fats?
does anybody else want a copy of what Jacob had emailed out, like a hard copy?
Yeah, I think so.
Everything's like, we do everything on our phones nowadays, but, do you want that?
Okay, all right.
So yeah, for the Beachbody Challenge, it's like, for protein, it's one gram per pound of body weight, so whatever, when you step on the scale, whatever the scale says, try to get, and you can definitely have more protein than that too. The carbs, keep it between 50 and 75 grams. It does add up quick. 20 to 30 grams of fat. Coconut oil doesn't count. It's a free fat. It doesn't, our body processes it differently than it does fats from our other foods. Sodium, 2,500 milligrams per day.
I was told to use Himalayan pink.
Yeah.
Pink.
Or
Yep.
sea salt, and not the white sea salt.
Yeah, he said not white sea salt. I
Okay.
was told, which I bought. Well, I thought I was.
I have both at home. I currently don't do I don't add salt to anything. I use Mrs. Dash for everything and pretend that there's salt in there. I'm trying to train myself how to eat food without salt, because as we get close to the competition, it's gonna get really tough. It's very, very, very strict. If you think that this is strict, it's even more. And I don't even know what I have in store for me. Completely, I'll just try to get used to eating things that are bland, so it's not as much of a shock to me when that happens. But I'm pretty sure there's certain things we can't have. So, Jacob really lined it out really good. It's just a matter of how are you going to follow that, and what things are you going to do to. A lot of it's just mind over matter and discipline. It takes a while. It doesn't happen easily. It wasn't easy for me. Like I said, I went through a few times where I was just struggling. Even with this very first 60-day challenge, it's like, oh my gosh, like how am I gonna, I don't want to do. Part of me didn't want to do it, and I guess there's gonna be a lot of things that'll come up and a lot of excuses that come to mind. But there's just a point where you get over that hump, and it's not an option anymore, especially if you really want to reach your goal. It depends on in whatever your goal is. You just have to want that so much to where you're going to make sure that you don't do anything to get in the way of it. And that's more of like I think it's more of a personal journey that you kind of learn on your own.
Can I ask a question? In the middle of all this, I'm going on vacation, and I want to drink. How the heck am I?
And that's one of those things. Like it's totally difficult.
There's just nothing though out there. Like, I'm not saying I'm gonna drink to get drunk, but I'm just for like, I like my beverage every once in a while.
Yeah.
I'll stop that if it's really gonna take away from what I'm doing. But I'm just curious if there's anything out there that is okay at all. Or is it nothing?
I guess there's plenty of different drinks that you can have that would be better than others, absolutely. Right. But as far as the challenge goes, and the goal and the expectations that Jacob's put on this challenge is that you are gonna you know, get, you know, you're gonna reach your ultimate goal in 8 weeks. Like, this is like the best body, you know, beach body challenge. What is the best you can do for your body in the next 8 weeks? And the reality is not drinking is one of them. But yeah, there are other things that you can, I mean, when you go, if that's what you like, if you like to have a drink once in a while, and there are definitely certain things that are better than others to drink. But I really truly feel like a lot of alcohol really does interfere so much with goals, and just with like, everyone's drinking wine, and I would have really liked some wine, but I'm like, you know, I can't. But when I'm done with the competition, if I want to have a glass of wine, I know that I'm going to be able to, you know, do that. So, did you have a question?
Oh, yeah, what about fruit?
Fruit. Well, fruit is with the carbohydrates. Fruit is you know, something that will interfere with the carb count. So trying to keep fruit to a minimum. Green apples are lower in sugar, so those are good. But tropical fruits, bananas, stuff like that. For, you know, if you want to, you know, be able to lose the weight.
Berries
Berries
are
are the
favorite.
best.
Berries, yeah, blueberries.
Strawberries.
Yep, definitely.
Raspberries, yeah.
Yep. But just shying away from, like, that's the thing, is I think we're taught our entire lives that fruit is healthy, but, you know, eat as much fruit as you want because it's good for you. But a lot of people will end up putting on weight from having too much fruit and too much sugar. So it tends to interfere with that. Yeah.
What's the difference between sweet potatoes and yams?
There's really not much of a difference. They're very similar. Yeah, I've looked into that quite a bit. Because sometimes the store won't carry sweet potatoes and they'll have yams instead, but they're
Do they
basically,
taste the same?
they do. I mean, one's is a little bit sweeter than the other, but I haven't noticed a difference. I don't even know what I buy half the time anymore. I mean, they're the same as
They're
far
right
as,
next to each other.
yeah, as far as nutrition and as far as, yeah.
Most of the time, jam, like at County Market, your yams are what's available.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, and there's a super Walmart by my house or by my work that I go to all the time, and I always get sweet potatoes from there. And then all of a sudden there's like none, and they'll have like a shortage for weeks, and they will only. And I asked them about it. They're like, "Oh, we only get like a certain amount in now." And
Who's
but
buying all the sweet potatoes?
I know, I was getting mad. I was like, "Come here."
Wholesome members.
Well, it's Advantage Heights, so I thought I was safe from that. I was like, I'm like, who else is eating sweet potatoes all the time?
Yeah, it's a fight for this last sweet potato.
Yeah.
So what are some different ways that you cook them?
Well, I'm a creature of habit with my sweet potatoes, but I cook them in coconut oil. So 1 teaspoon, like I have a pan that's about this big. I don't know what the measurement would be, and I just grab a handful of them and I fill up the pan. It's I do 1 teaspoon of coconut oil, because you know I don't like it when they're overcoated, but I also want them to get crispy and be good. So also I did bring a couple of simple recipes that I know our Jacob approved that.
Didn't you put like brown sugar on
No, honey.
it? Oh, I thought one of them was brown sugar.
No, that's the way, that's the traditional way that they made it,
Yeah.
brown sugar and marshmallows.
Hi.
I never like sweet potatoes
I
growing up
put 2
because
tablespoons of brown sugar on it just the other
my
day.
mom used to put like
Brown
marshmallows
sugar.
and yeah.
Cinnamon. Cinnamon.
I have a recipe here for black bean vegetarian chili, which is really easy to make up with just peppers and onions, and you just dice up everything, and then you bake the sweet potatoes and cut them open, and then pour the black bean chili in them. It's really good. I made that for my parents. I went to visit my dad and stepmom the other day and made that for them because I know that they had been busy and out of town, and they loved it, and they're not even doing a challenge or anything. So they're like, I could eat this every day.
So sweet potatoes and black bean.
Yeah, it's like a black bean chili. So it's got a red pepper, a green pepper, an onion, a can of black beans, a can of low sodium or no salt added tomato sauce, and then you cook up you saute everything together in olive oil, just 1 teaspoon, so not a lot. Garlic cloves, and then you add oregano and cumin and chili powder and a little bit of cayenne, and you mix everything together, and it's really good.
And shove it in the oven.
It's very easy to make. It doesn't take very long. No, you bake the potatoes first, and then you pour the chili over them. But those are the main ways. I did make sweet potato fries the other day. When we had some friends over to grill. I then peeled the potatoes and I chopped them into little small. They look like little matchsticks or whatever, and those were good. I just melted some coconut oil and drizzled and actually brushed it on there, with a brush and baked them in the oven, and they were very good. That was
I
a
did
good
that too, but I put brown sugar
Oh, need brown sugar.
Ooh, it's good.
Just have those written down, or do you have them on your email too?
I have them written down, and my handwriting's not the greatest, but I figured if you wanted to like take a picture with your phone, or I did post a lot. Some of these are posted in the group, and what I could do also is post these tomorrow.
I was just gonna take them.
Yeah, do that too.
And then go to my work, I'll put them on paper. I'm making a book for everyone, I don't know
Oh,
if you
yeah.
saw that on
Yeah.
Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Here's a book that
Yeah.
Jacob just approved, so I'll add those to this book.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he gave me this too. I was saying he started this a while ago.
Okay,
There's a few others that could go in with that too.
yep, so I'll make like probably 20 copies a day. I'm gonna try to make as many as I can, and I put them in a binder.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Don't tell Edina Realty, they don't even know what I'm doing.
I'm
I pay them
telling you.
so much a month, that's fine. But on a serious note, just at the office, I'll keep them there, and then you guys, will have a stack and just grab them, because like Marissa said, it's so nice to have these at your fingertips.
When do
Or
you think you'll have them, like in a week or something? or-
no, I'll have them maybe even tonight, maybe even tomorrow. I'm gonna go right after this, get it done, go
cool.
grocery shopping at County Market or wherever I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
With all the advice you're giving me, I kind of been waiting to go grocery shopping.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, I think too.
Yeah.
That would
Yeah.
be great.
Yeah. And a lot of the recipes too, especially in this book, they're really simple. Some people like to cook and some people don't, and some people really stress about what am I going to buy and what am I going to do. So if you're one of those people, I challenge you just to the next 8 weeks kind of teach yourself how to just, first of all, just get in the habit of the prepping, get in the simple things, get in the habit of eating as clean as you can. I mean, simple, chicken breast and broccoli, salmon and asparagus for dinner, like just, those simple things that don't make it too difficult for yourself. Once you can get in the habit of doing that and spacing your meals out, then once you're done with your 8-week body challenge, you can then incorporate some of those other really good recipes that Tina might have or we have in this other book that can help you then maintain where you're at. But some people are not interested in doing, trying different recipes at all, and some people are.
I mean, I hate to cook, and I put a recipe in there, that
Yeah.
cabbage with the brown turkey, so I mean,
Yeah.
I can do it.
Another one that's really easy that people forget about is making for breakfast. Like that's another thing too, is people skip breakfast too much. And I was one of those people that I remember when I first met with Jacob and told him what my day looked like. He's like, you don't eat for 4 hours. And I'm like, well, because I have my coffee and then I'm not hungry and then I'm driving to work but I pack a really healthy breakfast, but it wasn't for 4 hours. So teaching myself how to eat right away within the first half an hour, I'm awake 45 minutes. That is really difficult for a lot of people. I know a family member of mine that has reached out to me several times needing some help with losing weight, and I've given her all the information she needs, but she's just like not willing to eat breakfast. I just can't do it, she said. Well, you can, you're just choosing not to, and I think that's where we all kind of, you have to, change your mindset a little bit when you tell yourself you can't do something. Well, you're just not, a lot of times you're just not wanting to, and if you're, it's just, I've done the same thing. I told myself that I wasn't ever going to not be able to eat pizza because it's my favorite thing in the entire world. And I will be having pizza the day of the competition as soon as we're done. I'm really looking forward to that. But I just think it's the greatest thing ever, but I wasn't willing to give it up, and twice a week or how often it was. So just having breakfast, teaching yourself how to do that. The egg muffins are really, really easy to make. I have a recipe here that you can do it with turkey, with ground turkey or without, or just just fresh veggies and eggs. And if you whip it all up and you can put them in the muffin pan, you cook them. You can pre-portion those out. You can grab them, eat them when you're driving.
Made those this
What's that?
morning.
There's brown sugar that's written on this piece of paper.
7 a.m. It does.
7 a.m. to brown sugar. It's right
Honey or
here.
brown sugar.
Who wrote that?
Well,
then if you-
it up.
That is I copied and pasted.
See, I underlined it?
Well, good then. If it's just a teaspoon, that's fine. I personally use honey on everything. I use natural honey on everything. So
Okay.
if that is what he typed up, and I just copied and pasted it on a Word document and printed it up. So
See?
there you go, Joy. Joy, you
I'm
can't,
not
but you
crazy. I'm
can't put
not.
tablespoons of sugar on everything.
A couple of brown sugar.
All of a sudden, she's got a half a cup of brown sugar.
How about coconut palm sugar? Wouldn't that be a better choice?
Yeah, that's another good choice too, but not a lot of it. Obviously, if you're keeping track of your carbs, you're not going to want a ton. I haven't tried that. I actually just bought some for a recipe that I wanted to make. I think think they were like pumpkin pancakes or something with the coconut palm sugar, and I bought that as well, so,
That sounds good.
yeah. But the egg muffins are great. I recommend making those. I did that for a while, and then I kind of overdid it with them. I kind of had them too much, but I would make a separate one for my husband with bacon in them, and then I'd have mine with the healthy stuff in it, because he doesn't like veggies, so.
Is bacon bad? Cause it's got protein.
High fat though.
Yeah, it's high in fat. It's not part of the Beachbody Challenge, so I can't tell you if it's good or bad. I know it tastes good. Huh?
Turkey.
Yeah, turkey side. I mean, then you have the sodium factor too. If you're watching your sodium, sodium's really high no matter what in the meats, like with the bacon and with lunch meat and stuff like that. People don't realize how they're processed and all the extra stuff that's added in. I make another recipe that's like with quinoa pasta. So with like either with the shells or recently I bought quinoa and brown rice pasta, which was a good combination. I really like that. And I basically just would cook up the noodles, ground up some turkey, dice up some onions. I bought some edamame. If you like edamame, you can buy it, not in the shell, so, or just prepackaged up. Package of mushrooms. 1 8-ounce can of no salt added tomato sauce, and then Mrs. Dash chipotle seasoning to add a little flavor, and just basically mix all that up and sprinkle maybe a little bit of mozzarella and bake it in the oven, and my family like that too. So I have a recipe here for just like a glaze that you could really easy glaze you can make and put on your salmon, because salmon can be kind of bland. That one is really good as well. So. And then also like I don't know if you use balsamic vinegar a lot, but that's kind of like my go-to. I don't use regular salad dressing. I use just a little bit of olive oil. I think the ratio that I do is 2 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar, 1 teaspoon of olive oil, and a teaspoon of honey, and mix it up and put it over salad. I love it because usually if you have a salad and if you like veggies, if you put a ton of other stuff on it, you really don't need a lot of dressing with it anyways. Or like avocado, add that on there. So yeah, I have a recipe for that too. So just a few of them, but I just brought, like I said, I brought stuff from home just to show everyone kind of what I keep on hand at all times and I use on a weekly basis. Once I started getting in the habit of eating, like, there were things that I really didn't care. I thought I didn't like sweet potatoes because growing up my mom would put like marshmallows and brown sugar and and they were mushy and they were just like gooey and they just weren't good. But then I learned how to cook them with coconut oil and I love them out. I crave them. Chicken, learning how to eat chicken without being marinated in those good marinades. That's just kind of, a lot of things are acquired taste. A lot of things you just have to try it. Lindsay, you just got to try it.
Yeah.
And you have to, just, if you don't like it, but, you might not like it, but you'll never know.
Do you use almond milk in your protein drink? Or do you use almond milk in your protein drink?
A very little bit.
Just enough to
This-
make it creamy
So
and
like
then-
right now, I brought this to for an example, so if you wanted to look at like the content, I mean, it's got 24 grams of protein. There's really nothing added in it. It's just a non-GMO whey isolate. This is like what I'll have at night for a snack with 3 ice cubes and water. It's just
How do you
kind of.
make it more creamy then? With
I would put like just a little tiny bit of, I have coconut creamer at home too, which actually is very, very, it doesn't even have hardly any carbs in it. That adds a little bit. But I think if you're gonna have a protein shake, you can add a handful of blueberries, add some kale in there, 1 teaspoon of peanut butter. Serving size of peanut butter is 2 tablespoons. So if you're only having a teaspoon goes a long way in a protein shake. It'll change the whole flavor of it, because you don't want to get bored and you want to enjoy what you're drinking anyways. If you're not enjoying it, then you're not going to stick with it very long. And that was another thing too I forgot to mention. I also went through a time where I tried to use meal replacement shakes as a form of weight loss, and that was something that also, it didn't help me for a while, absolutely, but it didn't, long term, it did not, I eventually gained the weight back because you can't live off of protein shakes for the rest of your life. I drink protein right now just to get my protein count. Right now I'm trying really hard to have 200 grams of protein a day. I'm at about 180. I am having a hard time getting over that hump. I'm eating so much, but it's like, I'm trying to get to 200, but it's still 180 is good, but 200 is my goal. I don't weigh 200 pounds,
Yeah,
so,
so
so it's not, I'm not following the
I wanna be
guidelines.
your weight.
Yeah.
200 pounds.
I'm not following the guidelines of, I'm kind of doing something a little different, but, yeah, I don't drink shakes for meal replacement, but they are considered meals throughout the day because of the added stuff, and they help just keep me full all day long, so.
What does that sunflower butter look like?
Yeah, it's really good. If I had a spoon, I'd let you try some.
Can I just see it?
Yeah.
Get it close.
I ate a spoonful of it last night.
Do you find that by the peanut butters and stuff, or?
I got that at Trader Joe's. I saw that Walmart carries it now. So yes, right by the peanut butters. And it looked like it was almost the same label and everything. It just didn't say Trader Joe's on
They
it.
sell that kind of
So-
market for cheaper even than Walmart.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
It tastes really delicious.
I know,
So do you
right?
keep it in your fridge?
Yeah, it's
No.
like $7.
I don't know. Should I? Does it say
I don't know, it just
refrigerated?
seemed kind of juicy. Kind of juicy, so I'm a little worried about
Oops.
that.
Well, maybe. I don't think so. If it's a
Refrigerate after opening, oh my God.
It can't be bad. I mean, if you look at the ingredients in it, it definitely has a shelf life. It impedes your digestion and supporting immunity, boosting metabolism. I just think it's something that I think that you should just use. You might as well use, if you know an oil is going to benefit you in several ways, you might as well use it.
Well, I'd heard that olive oil was bad to use in a fry pan or to
Mm-hmm.
grill. Use that, and so now they said coconut oil is better
Yeah.
for you. Olive oil is not good.
And I never
for
even
that.
thought about coconut oil with my veggies until
Yeah.
not too long ago, just sauteing the veggies. So.
They said olive oil is bad to do.
Yeah.
So-
Anybody have any other questions with the Beachbody Challenge, or just kind of like any struggles or things that are maybe interfering with meals? And
How do you suggest we get through Easter?
I was thinking that same thing, because
Yeah.
we have Easter at my mom's, and I said to my husband, I was like, dang it, it's gonna suck, because everything that's gonna be there is not something, I would just go prepared. I'm gonna have to bring,
Well, there'll be hard-boiled eggs.
yeah.
Right.
Right.
Next to Easter, so we're
Yeah.
having tacos.
I mean, like I said, it's difficult. And no matter what you do, whenever you're trying to reach a goal, whether it's this challenge now or down the road, I mean, you really got to designate at least 60 days to being committed. If you want to see changes or results, you really have to. And there's always going to be a holiday. There's always going to be a birthday party. There's always going to be happy hour that you're invited to, or it's going to be always a social situation. And it gets difficult. Like I haven't gotten together with some friends of mine for a while but they know I'm training, and they know that, you know what, I'm not going to be able to go out to dinner as much. I'm not going to be able to do certain things, and I'm okay with that, because my mind, to me it's temporary. I'm going to take the things that I've learned and make it long term. Absolutely, I want to continue to eat and eat wholesome, live a wholesome life and whatnot. But once you get to that point where you've reached that goal, it's going to be so rewarding. So Easter's going to be hard.
Yeah.
I thought about maybe contacting my parents and asking if we could do something different than like a big salty ham or whatever they're planning on doing. Something that I can eat. Otherwise, I'll bring stuff. But it comes down to discipline too. I was around so much good stuff yesterday, and part of me wanted it, but part of me was like, it was really easy, but it's taken me a long time to get to that. I know it's not easy for everyone. It's taken me a long time. A lot of people were asking on Facebook, and we're getting a lot of messages and stuff, just kind of, people didn't know what to start, like where to start. I don't know what to have for breakfast tomorrow. I don't know what to do. So I just thought it would be helpful to get everybody together and chat. I mean, obviously I'm not an expert, I'm not a nutritionist, but I can just share kind of what's worked for me over the last year. And
When you started cutting out your pizza and other stuff you used to eat, did you get headaches at all or anything like that? Or have like a withdrawal? 'Cause some people.
yeah, I don't remember.
Stop eating sugar.
Yeah.
If you're used to eating breads and pastas
Yeah.
and pizzas on potatoes, some people get that withdrawal.
I remember.
I had a headache today.
Yes.
I'm not even kidding.
Yes.
Yeah.
All day,
It's
like,
it's almost like being addicted to
I don't
caffeine.
remember having a headache so much as much as I remember being irritable.
Yeah.
The irritability was there really bad, and it just dawned on me the other day that I'm just so much more mellow and easygoing, and like, but I do remember even saying to my husband, like, just, you know, I'm so crabby and I don't, you know, didn't even know why, but yeah, being irritable, headaches, I didn't remember getting headaches too much, but it doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't happen even in a week. It takes a while. I mean,
And some people have sensitivity to carbs or to
Yeah.
gluten stuff.
yeah.
So I mean, by doing this, it's looking at it kind of
Yeah.
test your.
Yeah, and I don't know if I've ever had problems with gluten. I'm assuming that I have. I was diagnosed with IBS years ago, and the medication ended up being, my insurance wasn't covering it, and it was too expensive for me, so I said forget it. I stopped drinking milk, thinking that milk would kind of help with that. I still am not a huge milk drinker anyways. There's so much sugar in milk, and if you've ever seen the process that how they make the milk, I'm just kind of over it. I just stick with the almond milk. I get calcium from from taking my multivitamin every day, and you don't really need that, but yeah.
We quit eating sugar
Mhm.
and carbs and bread and
Yeah.
potatoes last July. And, but we don't restrict any kind of proteins or fats.
Sure.
Just eliminate, and because we're following a diet plan that was developed by Dr. Perlmutter,
Mm-hmm.
the Grain Brain book he wrote. But I mean, the evidence he cites in the book
Yes,
really
like
shows.
I think I bought her some frozen burritos the other day, and she was just ecstatic. Or a couple boxes of mac and cheese, something. I mean, I know it's not good, but but those are the things that I stopped keeping in the house all the time. So because of that reason, and I think overall you feel so much better when you don't have all that extra stuff in your body that you're, yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, not only do we not have headaches, we brought that up, that's
Yeah.
interesting, but, I mean, I get out of the car at the office and I walk in, I used to kind of creak in because it would take me half the distance to get there just to get my knees kind of worked into shape. I mean, the sensitivity and the aches and pains in my joints went away in about a week.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's hard to explain. Like I always try to tell people, like it's hard for me to explain how much different I feel now than then. It's so, and not to mention, I think I'm down 15 pounds from last year. I mean, it's not a ton of weight, but it's good. I reached my goal. And I want to stick where I'm at. My goal is to just not get to that point ever again, to where I have to worry about it. So
Plus you're putting better things in your body,
Yeah.
so you're gonna be healthier.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's the bottom line.
I sleep through the night now. I never used to sleep through the night. But also I did drink a lot of alcohol too. That was a little bit different. That was, yeah, I did. I mean, that was part of my routine Monday through Friday, or not Monday through Friday. I'm sorry, come Friday. Friday and Saturday.
You were fine on
Fine.
the weekends. but-
Yeah, I mean, but just the way, feel completely different. I meant to say it,
Yeah,
Friday and Saturday.
I quit the beer too, I mean,
Yeah.
would come home and drink a beer or two every night.
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah, you just get in the habit of that.
yeah.
And it's not that there's anything wrong with that, but that's the thing, it's a personal choice. If you have a goal to reach, you're not gonna be able to reach it with that being part of your day. You're just not going to. So you have to make a decision. What is your goal and how are you gonna reach it? And I feel like he's really given us the tools to reach our goals. We just have to do it. And it's not easy at first, and you could be even 2-3 weeks into it and be like, gosh,
Silk, is that silk?
silk is soy.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's soy.
Because almond milk is not going to be this. We're raised on we're raised on milk, and that's just kind of what we're used to. So, yeah.
Short answer is milk isn't good for you.
Yeah.
Period. It's not good for you. So
Anything with
you're actually not a milk drinker. Babies and cows are milk drinkers. You just were raised, maybe your parents
Yeah.
or your family
Yeah.
had
You're
milk at
raised on
dinner,
milk.
and that's just traditionally what you're used to. But you're not a milk drinker.
Is almond milk okay? I know not for this diet for me, but for a family, because we switched over to almond milk. I
Yeah, I
watched
mean,
the
that's what
sugars.
I use almond milk. That's the only thing that I use right now.
Okay.
So
A lot of sugar added to it too,
Well,
way lower than it's much lower than milk.
though. Yeah.
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 Absolutely. It actually is a little bit higher in fat than like a skim milk, but the carb content and sugar content is way lower.
calcium is greater.
Yep. Yeah, I think like this I bought at Trader Joe's. This is 2 carbohydrates. That's
What do
it.
you use for milk, Marissa?
This is what I use.
What's
No, I'm sorry. What do you use it for?
In my oatmeal,
Okay.
and then a little bit in my shake, just to make it a little creamier. But I do my shake mostly with water, and I'll just put like, just a tiny bit, just a dollop in there, I call it, so.
And
Yeah.
the egg muffin recipe calls for.
Yeah,
some kind of-
Yeah, and you don't really even need to use it in there, I accidentally made that without it once. It turned out just fine,
Oh.
so. I always thought you needed milk, you need to do, when you make scrambled eggs and stuff like
Makes
that.
them a little fluffier.
Yeah, I don't, I actually prefer scrambled eggs without, I made some this morning, yeah. So, I've used soy milk before, but I'm not a fan of that either.
Well, they say soy isn't really good for you.
Unless it's non-GMO,
Mm-hmm.
then you're,
Okay.
okay.
What about the coconut milk? Like Silk makes coconut milk.
Yeah.
too.
I haven't tried that at all.
Would that be the same as coconut oil where you could have as much as you want?
Mm.
I don't
Probably
think,
not, there's probably some
Yeah.
other ingredients in there, there's probably some added.
yeah, I've never looked in the coconut milk. I know that I buy the coconut milk creamer, but that, all it is coconut milk and a little bit of cane sugar. So, there's no added ingredients, and, sometimes I'll put a little of that in my coffee. It doesn't really do much though, so. Yeah. And there's a lot of other products out there too. I just decided to grab whatever I had. Yeah. Walnuts are really good in oatmeal. I'm pretty regular with my breakfast. I really like my oatmeal, and I put egg whites in my oatmeal for extra protein. And that's what I have every day, basically.
What's in that can, that spray thing, that spray?
It's a coconut oil spray.
It's like Pam, but it's coconut.
Oh, it's coconut oil, okay.
Yeah,
How do you feel about avocados, cause they're really high in fat?
it's a good fat to have. You're not gonna wanna eat several of them every, day if you're tracking your fat for your Beachbody challenge. But on a salad, yeah, I always use a half avocado on a salad, and, yeah. Mhm.
Does everybody know the difference, between good fat and bad fat? I don't know if you maybe went over it or not, but, and also, so avocados aren't bad because they're high in fat. Avocados are good, they're very healthy for you, but too much fat is not good. Just like too much good carbs is not good. Too much water is not good. So avocados are very healthy. There's very healthy, good fats to help you with weight loss, to help a lot of other health benefits with avocados, but we just need to make sure we keep our macros. Our body can only handle so much protein, fat, and carbs before there's overflow, basically. So our body at a certain time will metabolize what we need, but if we go over our fat content, let's say it'd be 40 to 50 grams for the Beachbody Challenge we're trying to cut down, we go over, let's say 40 grams of fat for the day, there's going to be overflow, and that's going to be stored as body fat. But the rest of the 40 is going to be used for energy, for muscle recovery, for everything that the body uses fat for.
So I have a couple more. You wanted a copy of this, right, Tina? The carbon cheat sheet. Yeah. Unless anybody else has any other questions, I don't know if you want to take a look at the products.
I think I am gonna look.
Yeah.